Hi everybody, I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga. Welcome to the Just Be Yoga studio. We're here today to do a little basic yoga flow. Our whole foundation is on accessibility and as well as affordability. So it's time for us to kind of move the issues in our tissues. So if you're going to join, why don't we start standing and we'll work our way down. So since you're at home, you might want to make sure that you have a mat. It might not really be that much of a requirement, but maybe get something that you can use as a block or support. It could be a giant book or a necktie or a belt if you don't have a yoga strap. As you'll notice, I have some blocks and props that are of different sizes. This we're going to use a little bit later in case you have some wrist issues going on. And then lastly, I doubt that you're going to have this at home, but a yoga block that doesn't make you have to go down so low, all right? But so I'm going to use some of these later as we're moving along. So if you want to run, go get a couple of things that you might need. It can be a chair that could sub for that great big block. Go ahead and do that. Later, if you were laying down, if you want to have a blanket nearby for yourself so that you can have some cushion for your knees as we're getting down on the floor or any body part that might be uncomfortable, go ahead and grab that as well. All right, so we're going to just start standing and bring some attention into our feet. I'm going to position my feet into a comfortable distance apart. All right, so I'm not going super wide and I'm not squeezing them together. So depending on your thighs and your hips and how your body feels, you adjust where you are in your feet. And then let's lift in the chest, grow tall through the top of the head. And we're finding what's called mountain or mountain posture or pose. Standing firm and steady like a mountain. Yoga means to create a connection, to connect our bodies with our breath and our mind, not to bend ourselves into a knot or a pretzel. So we're starting to build that connection by feeling out what feels right for us. Don't lock the knees. How much energy is lifting you and how much energy is rooting you. We're going to connect breath with movement, and everything I have to say today is purely optional. So I'm going to probably preface a lot of things with if you would like to, if you want to try, all right? So nothing is mandatory. And please, if there's any body part that's upset with you, stop it. It's talking to you. Connect with what it has to say. Don't tell it what to do. All right. So let's just stand firm in our earth, in our root. Many of us have felt as though we've been shaken of late, as though the earth or the rug is being pulled out from under us. So it's nice to feel solid. Maybe rock forward and back in your feet and just feel how that feels. Even if we get a little topsy-turvy, that's all right. We've been wearing that. And right now, let's just let the body do it. All right, why don't we breathe in and lengthen upward. Try to root those shoulders down and let any lifting in your body occur from your ribs up, not driving everything from our shoulders. Breath in, and then exhale. Go ahead and bend the knees, and we'll slowly start to let the upper body come forward. So I'm going to keep these knees bent. It'll start to really forgive any tension that's going on in the hamstrings. Soften the experience in our back. See if I can let my head go and my arms dangle. Maybe grab opposite elbows. And then shift forward and back a bit and start to notice, how are my feet carrying my weight? How are my feet supporting me? Am I putting everything way back here in these heels and super feeling it back here in the hamstrings? Or could I bring some more weight forward into the front of the feet? Let's start to cultivate some nice deep breaths. And if you can, start to breathe in and out of the nose only.
And we'll scoop this tailbone under and start to roll the spine up gently, lifting your head last. Now how long you want to hang out down there is going to be up to you. Maybe your back is going to start to talk to you. Maybe your legs are talking to you. Maybe your breath says, I'm not breathing too well. So start to feel out that relationship. Let's do that a few more times if you want. I'm going to widen my feet out. Myself, I've been doing a lot of long hikes and walks, so the backs of my legs and my back are feeling really tight. So we'll breath in, lift, exhale, hinge. Remember to keep those knees relaxed. Rolling the spine up, breath in. And then we'll let it go. One more time, breath in. And let it go. Let's go ahead and bring our hands down to the floor, or now might be a time in which you feel as though you need to get a block. So feel free to go ahead and grab your stuff. I'm going to bring this block down here, and I'm just going to use that for a little support to step one leg back. Now notice that foot, I'm going to keep those toes angled forward. I might actually wiggle this leg over a bit. So I'm just going to use this for a little support, maybe bring it back inside of that inner thigh. And then you could walk your way up that leg. Or if you're feeling stable, ease and steadiness, maybe you ask your core and your back to lift you up. Seeing if we can keep this knee bent. Try not to let it extend past that toe. If you can keep it over the heel, we'll save that patella, that knee, working the hips, growing tall, back to that breath. Now we're feeling our feet and our legs supporting us, holding us in a much more extended fashion. We can breathe in and straighten. Exhale, sink it down. Start to move the issues that are getting stuck in there. Breath in and breath out. Breath in, breath out. And then maybe if you want to find a little bit more core action, a little bit of hip work, a little bit of back work, we're going to breathe in and then exhale. Sweep it forward and see if you can let your chest rest on your thigh. Really asking these legs, our support system, to be there for us, testing in. Also maybe finding out if we're overextending our own support system lately in life. And then breathe in. And breathe out. Starting to feel this thigh talking to us. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll bring those hands down to this block and we'll step this leg up. And if you need to take a few steps to bring that leg up, remember to choose stability always. And then we'll round the spine up to come up to standing. Wonderful. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And then let's find a gentle side bend. You could let this arm rest on your side here, reaching up and over. Try to think of reaching through the side of the body, less about the shoulder. Breath nice and easy. Maybe you're looking down, protect your neck, listen to your neck. Breathing in, exhale over to the other side. You could rest that hand on your hip. Maybe you want to start to slide down. And you could make that decision and go, that wasn't a great decision. Breathe in, breathe out. And maybe the body's like, oh, I'm opening up. I'm really loving this. Breathe in and lift. Exhale, we'll bring the hands to prayer. And we're going to do the other leg now. All right, so we might need that block again. Bringing it down out in front of us. Bring your hands there, find your support. And we'll step the other leg back. And maybe from this view, you'll get what I mean about widening our stance, just to kind of find a space of stability. So choose what feels good for you. Here's where it could prove to be a little difficult. As if I'm on a tightrope. All right, so maybe I'm working a little fine dance here, but it's not as comfortable as it may look. And maybe it looks cool, but yoga's not about looks. This isn't a performing art. This is a feeling and a sensory art. When you're ready, we'll bring ourselves up, sinking down, seeing if we can aim these hips forward and notice the conversation that's going on in your back. Some of you might want to bring that back leg up a bit. Some of you might want to bring it back a little further, seeing what those hips will support. Your hands could be a prayer. Maybe you're lifting up. Faces are soft. Where's that breath? Breathe in. Exhale, reach. Remember, this is optional, so you could just hold in your warrior. Maybe you decided you didn't want to do that and you wanted to do this up-down flow. All right, so we're all in a different space. We're all finding out where we want to be in our bodies. Breathing and moving with ease and steadiness, letting our mind take a rest and our body energy and our breath energy starts to lead the way. Now maybe you bring your hands to the block, or maybe you're saying, hey, let me see if that back leg can come right up. All right, so much balance that we're working out and playing with. Consider that we're playing yoga. We're not performing, we're not practicing. Play, want to wobble a little. All right, we're gonna find a bit of a flow here now. So let's come to the front of our mat and see if we can put all of that together. Feel out where your feet are, working on our mountain. We'll breathe in. Exhale, take it forward. Rolling the spine up. Breathe in. And take it forward. Maybe you're using that block out in front of you. Maybe your hands can come to the floor. We'll step one leg back, angle those toes forward, choose your width. Breath in, breath out. Remember, this is optional. You could have already stepped back up. Breath in, breath out. We're gonna step the back leg up, no rush. Feel your way. Maybe play with how slowly you can go. And we'll step the other leg back, taking our time, sinking, feeling. This side is a completely different side. Breath in and breath out. Breath in and breath out. We're gonna step this back leg up now. Feet can be apart, but if your feet are apart, try to have your knees apart at the same time. We're gonna pull these knees back, scoop the butt under, lift the chest a bit, growing tall. Let some upward energy lift us for our chair. So your hands could be to prayer, maybe at your hips. If we're lifting, try not to shrug those shoulders up. See if you can root them down. Chair pose, breath. And then why don't we come to standing? We're gonna step, for me, this is my left leg, and I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna step it back, taking a few steps so I'm feeling pretty stable. Now I'm gonna spin that foot flat. So I'm gonna aim those toes forward. Try to draw a line from the back of this heel to the center of that arch to make a capital T. Kind of keep those hips in alignment, nice safe positioning. Maybe we're feeling out our hips, working out on those hips and those thighs. Try not to let that knee crash inward or out. You don't have to do a deep bend. It could be up here. Hands could be to prayer, growing tall. Hips are forward. And then let's just flow up and down. Up and down. Up. And then why don't we lengthen outward, a few shoulder rotations. If you would prefer to do this with your hands in prayer, that's fine. Changing direction. And see if these hips want to move. Just a little. They may not want to, and that's perfectly fine. You might be doing this and going, oh, nothing's going on down there. But you can do it in your mind. All right, we'll reach, lengthen, and let that hand fall where it may. This other hand could rest on your hip. This is our triangle. See if you can push the toes down, contract the muscles of your thigh, turning your chest, and that gaze could be down. Probably feeling a stretch along the side of the body, maybe on the back of this hamstring. If you need support, walk your way up with this hand. If you want to ask your core, your side core to bring you up, go ahead and do so. We're going to switch sides, and we're just going to spin on this heel. We're going to spin this foot, and now we're just going to find our way on this other side, opening up this hip. Sinking, lifting, maybe even giving yourself a massage, connecting in with various body parts. Touch, know, listen. Maybe some shoulder rotations. Get the weight of the world off your shoulders. Good, and we'll flow up and down, up and down, and up and down. Anybody who's been in my room know, sometimes I'm not counting so well. So maybe I did the same number or not on each side. All right, let's lift. Feel out our hips on this side. If you want to stay here and it's feeling pretty good, go ahead and stay here. Otherwise, if you're ready, we're going to send this hip over, lengthening. Maybe that hand comes deeper on this side. Who knows? Maybe you're extending those arms. Remember, you could always rest it on your hip, and you could let that gaze down or involve the neck. Breath. And then we'll bring ourselves back upright. We're going to spin on that heel. I'm going to turn around now so you guys can see from behind. Perhaps some of us are going to need a strap for our hands. So, rather than saying, I've got to bring my hands together behind me, maybe you just use a strap, okay? Shoulders down. Light bend in the knees, protect those knees. Hips are forward, chest is up, and then maybe not. Maybe some of you are not going to be able to see back behind you. Maybe you will. Let it be play, all right? I'm not going to give you that one. We're going to come up and over. Those knees can be soft. Where's the breath? Good, we'll let those arms go and start to bring ourselves back up, rolling the spine up gently. All right, we're going to move the straps aside and get ready to come down onto the mat on our hands and our knees. So I had talked about possibly needing a blanket. So if your knees are sensitive, maybe you have knee replacements, maybe you're waiting for a knee replacement, give yourself a little extra cushioning. Never put yourself in a space of suffering, all right? We're going to come to our hands and knees. If your wrists are sensitive, you could make a fist and rest on the knuckles of your fist. Take some of that pressure out of the wrist. Your knees, just about a fist width apart. Let's find a few cat and cows. Maybe you're familiar with this term. We're just going to bow and flex the spine, waking it up. Take your breath. Now I'm going to introduce us to our downward facing dog. Spread the palms really wide. Really involve stretching the flesh in your hands. We're going to press down and forward through those palms. Tuck the toes under, and first just see about the arms supporting your weight as you lift your knees here. This can be a great way to just get started. Maybe rest. We're already involving so much core and back stability to get started here. Press, lift. Maybe that's where you stay. Some of you are starting to push through the arms to let the head go. And then maybe you start to straighten those legs, alternating one leg or the other. Breath in, breath out. Go ahead and gently bring yourselves down. Feel free to widen your knees here. I'm going to remove the blanket because I don't need it and it's a little bit raised for me. Widening our knees, and then sink our butt back toward our heels. Maybe you just rest your chin in your hands. Some of you might want to rest your forehead on your hands. If you need, you could always just take your block and rest your head. Ease and steadiness, stira sukha. Child's pose. Knees wide, really start to work the low back. Some of you are working toward bringing those knees together and laying the belly and the chest over those thighs. It can be a little restrictive on breathing, but it really stretches out the entire spine. All right. We're going to come forward to hands and knees. I'm going to show you one alternative for your downward dog if your wrists are sensitive. These are called Namaste eggs. These are yoga eggs instead of blocks. So as you see, they rock here. They can really help take the pressure out of some wrists. So it might be something you want to think about if you have some wrist pressure. We use these in our basics and sometimes in our Yoga 2XL, our curvy yoga class. So pushing down here, allowing ourselves to let the upper body go. Always breath. And then let's gently bring those knees down. We're going to do a seated posture before we start to close ourselves out. We might have gotten a little heated and are really ready for the resting part of yoga. So let's come to sitting on our mat and make sure that you have your strap nearby. And we'll walk those legs out the full width of your mat. I like to start here. Again, really forgiving on the hamstrings. Maybe feel free to clear out fleshy bits under you so that you can feel your sit bone, those sitting bones rooting into the ground, feeling the low belly lifting us up, shoulders rolling back and away, sitting upright. So this is a posture. I guarantee if you sit in it long enough, you'll start to feel the working that's going on. Why don't we find a little twist here? You could bring your hand behind you. If you feel like you're in the T-Rex arm category, you could always bring the block behind you and bring your hands here so that the chest is lifting. Breath in, breath out. As you're twisting, breath in, breath out. And we'll find the other side. We're all holding so much stress and tension, and twists are a great way to relieve us of that tension. Breath in and breath out. Notice my legs, I'm keeping them nice and contracted. Good, and exhale, twist. That contraction gives me the leverage to twist that upper body. And then we'll gently release. We're going to do one forward fold before we're done. I'm going to give us our strap and bring it to the bottoms of your feet here. Now notice I'm going to grab that strap as close to the feet as I can, lifting the spine upward, all right? Try not to crane the neck and tilt the chin upward. Want to level that down, lifting through the top of the head. Feet are active, but the heels are rooted if you can. If your legs are already screaming, or if in some way you're like back here saying, I can't get any further, that's fine. Bend those knees. Let's be forgiving. We have to listen to all of our bodies. You're living in your body, and I'm living in mine. Let's breathe in and lift the chest,
Exhale, we'll pull our chin and our chest forward. See if you can relax your belly muscles so that you're not contracting your abs, pulling the shoulders back, lengthening the head forward, and breathe. Full, abundant breath. Maybe with each exhale, you go a little further. And we'll roll the spine up. Hopefully that feels a little bit yummy. I'm going to turn and face us, coming to bringing the bottoms of the feet together, knees open. Maybe you're just holding on to your ankles or shins. Maybe you're interlacing under these feet, all right? Try not to jag these heels so close to you that you're curved and rounded in the spine. Let's see if we can, again, find that nice, easy countenance, willing to stand tall in our frame, stand tall for our day, sitting up within ourselves. Breath in, and then breath out, pulling chin and chest forward. And then let's just go ahead and flow, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And just let yourselves rest wherever you may. You can let that head go. Let the weight of the world fall off of your shoulders, off of your neck. Know that you're safe on your mat. You're safe in your space. You're safe in your skin. And you can start to relax. We'll take this left leg out for me. And we'll bring this right foot up against the thigh a bit. It doesn't have to touch. And maybe it's out here for you. Feel out what's going on with your knees and your hips. If this knee is bothering you or that hip is bothering you, you could always put a prop underneath of this leg. We could have this knee bent. And let's find a gentle side bend. We'll breathe in. And then let that arm rest. Turn the chest open. Now, you don't have to have that arm dangling up there. You could always just rest it on the hip. Maybe you let your gaze come down and turn and offer the heart. Breath. And then we'll bring ourselves upright. Slow it down. You don't have to be in a hurry. No hurry at all. This is the time for you to just have a relationship, kind of a fireside chat with your body. All right, so choose. Again, you know that if you need some support under that knee or hip, feel free. Spine is lifting. Breath in and over. Now, if you want to keep this arm extended, that's awesome. You can start to feel a little bit more amplified stretch through the side. Just try not to have that shoulder creeping up to the ear. We'll pull that away and see if the low spine wants to move. Maybe it's achy like mine, maybe not. Breath. And then let's gradually bring ourselves back upright. I'm going to take us through a couple of closing postures for us to rest and get ready to restore. We're going to take our block. Actually, I'm going to use the egg blocks right here. So you could use a square block. We're going to do a supported fish pose. And that's where our back is going to be lying here. Upper chest gets to be lifting, and our head is going to rest. But I'll tell you what, this is far more comfortable. And it curves to form along with our spine. So I'm going to bring it in the middle of the spine. And I'm going to let my chest, my upper back, rest here, and let my head rest. If you need, you could always put a pillow behind your head. Maybe your legs are straight
Arms could rest away from the body. Maybe you'd prefer to have them touching you. Maybe you want to walk those legs in. Feel out what your back is telling you. And then see how we're feeling to be so open, so exposed and unguarded. We've all been guarding so heavily, protecting our heart, protecting our loved ones, guarding against an unknown fear, all of that uncertainty. If you would like, you could bring the bottoms of the feet together. Maybe let those hips fall open. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Feel the space in between your shoulder blades and ask that space if it would like to soften. Invite a softening in the back of your heart, allowing for more space to receive love and possibility. Open ourselves to possibility. Soften your neck, and with every exhale, let the body sink heavy. Heavier and heavier. So I recommend to come out of this that we roll over. And then we can take that block off of us rather than trying to sit way upright and jerking the body around. And we can lie down here, and this ought to feel really good now to just get a little counter pose, such a heart opener. Kind of bring that knee into the chest. You could switch if you like, pulling it in, pressing your back to the floor. And then if you like, we'll bring both in. Rocking, massage your spine. We've got all day, we're not in any hurry. Let's let the arms fall away and we'll let the knees fall over to one side, gentle twist. And if your legs have to come down lower for you to just rest them on the floor, do so. Guys, I really recommend that you try to do this kind of thing with me and just listen more than watching on the video. You don't need anyone to guide you to navigate inside of your own body. Listen to the sound of my voice and bring your gaze within. And when you're ready, we'll switch it on over to the other side, allowing those knees to come down, twisting in the low back, letting that upper back revolve open. If that shoulder is kind of dangling, you could bring a pillow again underneath of that arm. Give yourself support. Will we ask for support? And will we accept it? How does that feel as we embody that notion? Leaning into support, being held. Finding calming breaths when we know we are supported. And we'll gradually bring the knees back up. One gentle bridge will bring the feet down, walking the feet a little close to the bottom. Feet separated a few inches apart. Try to keep your gaze up without turning your head. Resting your arms, maybe down. It's really nice and comfy, cozy if you bring the arms upward. Kind of get a little massage along the muscles in the upper back and the trapezius, those upper shoulder muscles. And we'll press down solid through the feet, so feel your feet on the earth. And we'll push down through the feet, asking the hips to lift and gently lower. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. We'll cross the right ankle above the left knee. We might need to bring our hands in between the inner thighs to grab a hold of that leg, or you could use your strap and bring it up and use that to pull. Breath in, breath out. Now some of you might want to keep that leg down here. Heck, some of you might legitimately want to keep that foot on the floor. Just feel what's going on in those hips, what it'll accept. A reclining pigeon, maybe rocking. So anyone who has been a part of the Just Be Yoga family knows we have a neighborhood train. So here it comes. Maybe we're greeting people coming from Chicago. Just know that we're just feeling the energy of movement in the country. And let's just hope it keeps moving. And let's send them good wishes. We've crossed that ankle, maybe bringing those hands behind the thighs. Pulling that. No stress in the shoulders, no stress. Don't yank, tug aggressive. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. And then we'll release. We're going to get ready to rest. With that, if you would like, you have a pillow. Maybe for some of you who are at home, if your dog will let you, you could lay your legs over your doggy and kind of get your dog involved in with your yoga. We'll let our legs rest, adjust the body for comfort. Check in, feeling whole, sending love to ourselves, settling in, rooted and grounded, face soft, jaws relaxed. Let go. Just be. And we'll start to wiggle our toes and our fingers. Maybe stretch. Of course, if you really need to linger, linger in that rest as long as you want. And then I'll invite us to bring our hands maybe to our heart, to our belly. Feel ourselves receiving touch. Feel ourselves delivering touch to ourselves. And I'll invite us to engage into connecting with the vibration of life and source within us. And deep breath in. We'll take our time bringing ourselves up to a seated space. If you are at home, feel free to close, acknowledging with your body and your speech and your mind that you want to find some loving kindness to share with yourself and with others. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga. It has been my pleasure to share practice with you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Ashe. Namaste.